The year is 2014. The month is May. Soon I'll have been acting with the Hayman Theatre Company for 2 years. I've learned a lot, done a few plays. The theatre upstairs was the first stage I acted on. I picked up film on the side as a double major. Me and my crew are making a documentary on the theatre upstairs.
Hi, I'm Lee Brennan, and I work at the Hayman Theatre. And I've done so since 1997, where I started as the theatre receptionist. These days, among other things, I'm the venue manager. The Hayman Theatre started its life in the mid-60s as the Hayman Hall, a larger 300-seat theatre that saw major contemporary and classical plays produced and performed. And a gallery. It wasn't until the 1980s that gallery was turned into the theatre upstairs. In 2006, the main theatre was sadly closed, deconstructed and refurbished into offices. The Hayman Theatre and Performance Studies still produce over 20 small plays and 6 major productions a year in the theatre upstairs.
This building is the Hayman Theatre. Above the foyer, just over there, is the upstairs theatre. This is the Hayman Theatre stage. With a fully equipped lighting rig which is controlled in the biobox. There are changing rooms on either side of the building, both of which are connected to the stage through narrow corridors, which form a perimeter around the old theatre. This room is used for... What is this room used for? It's like old tapes.
Didn't know that were there.
Should we do anything with them, Dawson?
Yeah.
Well, that was fun. And then there's the costume room. And the props room. Both relatively small rooms. This room is called the Wasteland. It's a rehearsal space, but it used to be the stage to the old theatre.
Sometimes I put like lemon wedges on my eyelids and I like lie down and just like visualise.
I'm Ryan Hunt.
I'm Monty Sawyer.
I'm Gemma Middleton.
I'm Pete Townsend.
And I'm Jesse Daniels.
Physically, the space is... there's been some stronger terms than difficult to work with.
You can still put a lot of good theatre on, but it's definitely something you have to consider.
It's now kind of a piece of a theatre.
Because, I mean, the seating is wonky, the biobox is tiny.
You have to consider it all because it's challenging.
The stage is small.
People have to carry set pieces up like 2 or 3 flights of steps.
There's no real stage left or right.
And I've watched people manoeuvre that. People need a physics degree to get things up there, and we're art students. It's not meant to happen.
We attempted to discover more about the theatre upstairs, but also the effects of the repurposing of the old theatre and the reasons behind its deconstruction. This large hall used to be the main theatre several years ago. Along with its acoustically designed ceiling, it was repurposed as offices. Do you know why the old theatre was deconstructed?
This happened before my time. This happened in 2006, 2007, so I wasn't around. But I believe it was something to do with occupational health and safety, as in it was no longer complying. And so they took that opportunity to turn it into offices.
Is there any chance that we'll get a new theatre at some point?
There have been some occasions where we've got a little bit further in the process, but it's never eventuated, so it's out of my hands.
We tracked down an ex-Haymanite to get their idea on the situation. Thank you, Kerry.
Hi.
Thank you for meeting us here.
It's incredibly sad, actually. It's one of those things, I think, as an artist, that to have a space that was quite precious to you be transformed into administration. You understand in some ways that, you think that it's the university thinking about efficiency, but they're not taking into account the community and what it means. It's like, as an artist, you continually strive to make work that you think is valid and is making a difference in people's lives. And it's as if they took away some of that validity for what it was that you were working towards and what it was that you were trying to achieve.
With nothing much more that could be done about the old theatre, we turned to what was the only tangible thing left. These tapes are the only tangible thing we've got left. If we don't do something about them soon, we're going to lose them too. We've got to transfer them onto a file or a DVD or something that lasts longer than VHS at least.
Well, there's over 20 years of videotape there, of a lot of productions and a lot of students who have come through.
Wow. There's Humpty Dumpty.
Humpty Dumpty.
Which ones do we pick?
Oh, we've got to go classical, I reckon.
I think we should do Hamlet.
Yeah, okay.
Just ask Lee whether I can actually take them.
You need to sign them out.
Okay, cool.
Lee certainly made the Hayman a community, and he was always there to help make that a community, and he was wonderful. Barbara Dennis was a major influence in my time at the Hayman Theatre.
Barbara Dennis, she's my neighbour. She's ex-course coordinator Barbara Dennis lived a few doors down from me and had done as long as I lived there at my house. Hello. What did the Hayman Theatre mean to you?
A lot of hard work. I learned a lot. I hope the students learned a lot. But I learned a lot too. What is it now?
It's a centre for people who can't find their way around to places.
Okay. Well, there was a concrete stage at the back, and then when it was turned into a theatre, the concrete was divided and had a wall put behind it. There was a large performance area, and then there was raised seating for audience, so that you were sitting in the raised seating looking down onto the stage. So there you are. You can keep it.
Thank you. I will do.
I would see her after I'd left the Hayman, and she would basically say, "And what are you doing now? And are you directing?" It really mattered to her. All of her students mattered to her.
You were just building something up with each lot of students, and hoping that they would be able to take it from there and go on and do whatever it suited them.
And you've got the facilities here to
We
do
have
that?
got the facilities to do them, but
Great.
we have done it with our previous archive of our film stuff.
Film stuff.
We still have lots of stuff to do. That stuff over there.
Right.
It's more of a digital stuff for the last 10 years. Some of these tapes, though, may be older, so...
Well, we may leave the film stuff for later.
Well,
We might just stick with
these tapes.
the Hayman stuff for the now.
They're okay, they should be fine. This is something you'll need to take to see Adam.
Okay. Cool, well that should
Well.
be fine. Adam, can you help me put these on a file or a DVD to preserve them? They're old tapes from the Hayman Theatre.
I can, providing it's set up.
Right.
Check.
Alright,
We'll check.
should we check?
Let's check.
Alright, let's go check.
I need a key.
Exciting. I don't think this is a play.
So you need to manually do everything.
Right. Right, okay. It's going to be so time consuming that nobody's doing it.
Yeah.
Nobody's actually...
So full play is an hour and a half, 2 hours each.
Exactly.
250 of them.
So it's quite a workload for anyone to take on board. Yeah, we've got sound! So yeah, that's the wasteland where they are now.
It's very important, I think, that they're somehow preserved.
So this is going to take a long time. We got a bit bored transferring the tapes. It's massive. It's very elegant. Oh, it's gorgeous. His Majesty's Theatre. It's good.
Yeah.
Not quite as intimate as the Hayman, though.
Well-
Hayman's good. It's got that intimacy to it, so it's small.
Yeah, it's true.
You're right. We were all actually at His Majesty's Theatre the other day.
Were you?
Did Peter Parkinson design the Hayman
Yes.
Theatre?
Yes, he was
As
the
well as
architect
His
for it.
Majesty's?
Yes. He did the refit of His Majesty's.
Yeah.
He had the contractor's architect to redesign and bring it back to what they thought it should have been.
So the current design is
Peter's.
his.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So what did it look like before? Or was it just...
It was falling to bits.
Yeah. Right. So what did Peter Parkinson do for the Hayman Theatre?
I think he had the contract again as architect to change, to recreate, or rather build a theatre within what was then lecture theatre.
Learning more about the theatre was fascinating, but it still didn't answer my question about how you move on from a place that's meant a great deal to you.
You know, like, I've got a couple of semesters left and then I'm out of here.
Very much like at home. I feel so comfortable around the people in the space.
It's a huge part of enjoying something is making that contact with other people.
The opportunity to have a place that you can carve out as your own and create work and create art is the most precious thing.
You really put a little piece of yourself into everything that you do, and so you really, really bond with the people that you work with.
I think that's why it's hard to leave, because in a way you're kind of leaving them.
You will have fond memories. You will have great friends that are created there.
It's an incredibly tight bond that you feel when you're doing a show.
You spend your time kissing people and being half naked around people. You don't do that if you work in an office.
Do you miss it?
Yeah, incredibly.
I don't really have anything else to say. How are those tapes going, Jack?
It's not going well, Lee. There's too many of them.
I thought that by transferring the old tapes it would help the situation somehow. Maybe help keep the old Hayman alive. But there's too many to transfer in my time here. I think we all have a place like the theatre upstairs. It may be a place that we can't wait to get up and go every morning. It could be somewhere you feel you hate sometimes. It may be somewhere you happen across or somewhere you've always known. It may mean more or less to you at certain stages in your lives. But how do you move on from something like that?
Bit daunting.
We all feel like it's a temporary place.
It's a learning environment, and going out into the big wide world isn't quite like that.
Try and explore your next community.
So you can take with you everything that you've gained here.
And find new ways to make theatre and new ways to meet people and work in new spaces.
Because there's a richness in moving on from a place and holding dear those memories that you've formed in that place as well.
Maybe the reason that these places tend to mean so much to us is because we put so much of our own selves into them over time. They almost become a part of us.
There's a sense, when people look back, of remembering it as something worth doing, something exciting. This tremendous intensity that where everybody puts in to this creation. A lot of people enjoyed it very much at the time, but I think that sometimes there are people who look back and rather miss that tremendous excitement.
The answer doesn't lie with the tapes. In the end, they're just images on a screen.
I have heard of people putting these things in microwaves.
Microwaves? Microwaves.
I don't know.
The character flush. The character flush.
Rolling.
Okay. Theatre stage shot, take one.